Embrace the spirit of adventure as you join us on this daring journey through the untamed wilderness of Diego the Podcaster's Bonus Overdrive Wednesday. Real people, real stories, really on Wednesday. Available now on YouTube Music.
Warning. The following program may contain material not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Flight of ducks unknown, our voice begins to rise, breaking through the noise with fire in its eyes. The spirit of adventure burning ever bright. Hold on tight, travelers, it's gonna be alright. Another week burning, halfway to the end. Bonus Overdrive, attend the tears ascend. Bonus Overdrive Wednesday night is here. Shatter the silence, conquer all your fear. Bonus Overdrive, the angels gonna scream. With Diego at the wheel, living out a dream.
It's time to find out with Diego. Let's go. Ooh, yeah.
On this episode of Bonus Overdrive Wednesday, when our guest was just 14, he found his first guitar and amp at a pawn shop, all on his own. He learned to play, and for over 20 years, he's been pouring his heart and soul into his music. He can play many styles, but it's his own sound that really gets you. He sings about working hard, fighting the bottle, and the good old days. Every note, every word comes straight from his soul, right from the heart of Marion, Iowa. All this plus more. Please welcome our good friend and first-time guest, Cameron McCallister. Cameron, my friend, welcome to Bonus Overdrive Wednesday.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Of course, we've been planning this for quite a while now, and I visited your Facebook page a number of times, and I think not long ago, because Luke made the connection from Dead Don't Die, and I really appreciate him doing this. And you sent me, I think it was one of your original tracks. It was an instrumental.
Yeah.
And then I started digging into your Facebook, and you're always busy, man. So quite a story with you, my friend. So let's, if you don't mind, let's go back in time to when you were 14. I remember myself 14. I think it was, I'm not even going to name the decade. It was a long time ago. But for you, it's kind of like when destiny struck you straight in the head. You passed a pawn shop. Now, I know a lot of pawn shops carry a lot of things. Depends on what areas you're at. They have a lot of guitars. They'll have bass guitars. They'll have some drum sets. They also have chainsaws. They have all these other things
Right.
any man could want. But there's something that drew you to a guitar. So tell me the story behind that.
So yeah, actually my cousin's uncle played guitar, and he's really talented at it. And I remember I was over at my cousin's place and heard him, and then I was like, man, I'd do that. And then went to a pawn shop and picked up a cheap little electric guitar and amp, and just fell in love with it. Started teaching myself, and yeah.
So out of all the instruments there, why a guitar?
Like I said, like I was just amazed when I heard him playing it, and I was like, I don't know, struck a chord, if you will.
And so you said it was like a cheap guitar. Is that something? Was it good to start off with? And I don't mean cheap as far as quality. I mean it's in pricing, because sometimes, depending where you go, they can get kind of expensive, depending on if it's Fender or Jackson.
It was in Austin, which they're kind of like a Fender Squier knockoff. And then I think it was a crate, just a cheap little staticky crate, man. And like I said, first I heard him playing electric, and that's what I learned on, and just started making noise in my room at my mom's, and yeah.
Well, I'm sure they love that. No,
Oh,
and that's okay, because I think you found something in your life that you really pour your heart and soul into, as I said earlier in the introduction. So, walk me through the process of being self-taught. I could probably pick up a guitar and don't even know where to start. And I find a guitar to be a very complicated instrument. Some people could just take to it, and it's like they've been playing it their whole life. So, what
Sure,
did you do
sure.
to learn? Did you try to learn how
Oh,
to learn the music notes, like on
so I
paper,
don't know how to
or
read music. I taught myself, learned a tab how to read tabs, and then just kind of, went from there. So I actually learned more like single picking first, and then learned chords later on. So kind of did it backwards, but yeah. So
but it worked out? Now, was there a
yeah.
certain style of music at that time that you were trying to play, or that you really loved?
Just classic rock. I mean, even back when I was 14, loved, Led Zeppelin, Hendrix, so.
So when was your first gig? Because we're talking about you started at 14 and eventually. Well, let me go back real quick. What was the first song you learned to play from start to finish?
First song I learned to play start to finish. That would be Bush, Glycerin. That was the first song I learned how to play. Yeah. Power chords. Yeah. Um, but then the first time I played in front of people, I was 19. Snuck into a bar, open mic out by Kirkwood and Cedar Rapids, a little bar called Outskirts. I don't think it's there anymore, but I've always had the facial hair at a young age, so I was able to get away with sneaking in there. And then I did get, I kind of started liking drinking a little too much, and that consumed my life for a little while. And then I played at my grandmother's funeral. I did like Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, sang at her funeral. And that's when I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this. So that would have been, let's see, about 4 years ago. So then I was out in Dubuque, Iowa. That's where I first started. I started at the Dubuque Farmers Market. That was the first time, like, gig, I guess, and then started playing local bars out there. So, yeah.
Was it always your intention to only be like a solo artist? Because I could only picture myself if I were to learn to play an instrument, I would want to join a band. But you went kind of a different direction.
Yeah, no, I'd love to be in a band. It's just, yeah, it's a matter of finding the right guys. So, yeah. No, that'd be like my dream, actually, to just play lead guitar in a band, man. So
But now, so a lot of pressure though, being up there by yourself, because I mean it's just you, and you got
yeah.
to go out there, you got to entertain the people, you got to play the songs. So
Hmm.
let me go back real quick though. While we're being self-taught, because I have a reason
Sure,
for
sure.
this question. What were some of the biggest challenges that you encountered trying to learn how to play by yourself?
Um, I guess just yeah, it's a tricky question. Biggest challenges, I guess, just getting the right tone. Um, you know, memorizing scales and stuff. I guess. Yeah.
Right, which kind of helps now, because what I was going to go into is because when you going out there, I'm only assuming, I don't know. You maybe play some cover songs, right?
Yeah, sure.
And during this, because let's say you play one artist song, you play another artist song, then you play another artist song. Each one of them very different. They have different style. The songs are
Sure.
structured differently. So as you learn to play the notes by yourself in the guitar, now you're learning how to play different people's styles, different ways,
Yeah.
different songs. So that's a whole different challenge in itself. So how do you do that? How do you
Well,
concentrate and
I
learn these
tend
things?
to I try to really make covers my own. So like a lot of them don't sound, because I'm like, it's not karaoke, you know what I mean? So I try to put my own spin on stuff and tend to lean more into like a folky kind of genre when I'm doing covers. So
how do you choose the songs you want to play?
I go a lot based off like the lyrics, like that kind of, speak to my heart, so they're relatable, so that way I can, really pour my feelings into it, and yeah.
All right, so what are some of those songs that you play in your set normally? Because I know maybe you play different songs where you go, but some people like to play. They have their favorite 3 or 4 that they play. So which one of those do you play?
Sure. I like "Soul to Squeeze" by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's one of my favorites, and then "Won't Back Down," Tom Petty. It's another one of my favorite go-tos, and then let's see. Tiny Dancer, little Elton John. It's always a fun one. So yeah. And then there's a song, it's by the Molly Tuttle band. It's called Crooked Tree. And that one, I really switched that one up because there's like fiddle and all that stuff in there in the actual song. So, but I do harmonica instead. So yeah.
So you also play the harmonica?
Yeah. I picked that up about almost 3 years ago. Yep.
Self-taught, just like guitar. I'm imagining.
Yes, sir. It's always the worst, though. I feel like sometimes I don't know if I get like mustache hairs in there or what. But sometimes when I'm going to draw on it, it just doesn't give me any sound. I'm like like it's clogged. So I might have to get a nicer set eventually.
That's funny. No, so when you play the harmonica, because I know they make this device, not much of a device. I guess it's like a kit where you put it on your waist or around your chest, and the harmonica is right there as you're playing.
Kind of around your neck, kind of like a neck brace thing. Yeah, like Neil Young style for sure.
Yeah, you don't really see too many people play harmonicas, and
right. I
it's a
love
shame,
it.
really. It's a beautiful instrument. Yeah,
It
when it's done
is.
right, it sounds great.
Yeah, Heart of Gold. That's one of my another go-tos of mine out of gigs.
And now, because we were talking about also, you're playing cover tunes, you put your own little flair, your little spin to it. You play songs that kind of sing to you about certain subjects that you really can relate to. Outside of doing cover songs, what kind of your own material have you been working on?
So yeah, I got a song called "Rinse and Repeat" because I work in manufacturing. Kind of same screws over and over again. One of my coworkers, I was getting trained on something, and then they're like, "Rinse and repeat," and I was like, "That's a song." So, kind of about just getting up every day, wiping the crust from your eyes, and getting to work. So, that's one of my favorite ones. It's always relatable. I actually had a coworker come out, and he was like, "That was too real, man." So,
what's kind of like the all-American story right there?
Right. Blue collar, yep.
Yeah.
And then I got a song. I worked at a metal shop out in Piasta, and this was like 30 years ago. A guy accidentally put his hand in a press, and he had like a hook hand, so it's called a hook. So yeah, that's another one, and he knows all about it. He loves it. A guy named Carl out in Piasta. So.
Oh my! What a terrible thing to happen.
I know. Yeah, he's only 19. Yeah, can't imagine his right hand. His fingers exploded like sausages. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't mean to sound insensitive. Did anybody give him a nickname after that? Sometimes people point the most obvious things.
So I had a coworker come out to one of my gigs, and I played it, or I think he just came out to an open mic I was playing, and the guy's name is Stan in my song, and so that's all I called him from then on out, was Stan. And the first time, so I had another coworker that recorded me playing it, and he showed Carl, and at this metal shop they had to like lock up the gloves that we used, and only managers had keys, and Carl was the manager, and I was like, "Hey Carl, can I get some gloves?" And he's like, "Don't you mean Stan?" I was like, "Oh no." And then he's like, "No, you're super talented, man." So.
Man, I knew there was something going on in there, and it happened. That's just what guys do. Doesn't mean anything bad, it's just part of the experience.
It's but not I'm not making fun of him in the song. It's more just the origin tale of a guy losing his hand, and it's okay, and so yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. So you came out of Marion, Iowa, right?
Yes, yeah.
And you played in that area for a little while, and then you moved to another location in Iowa. Is the scene better there? Is there more opportunity for musicians?
Well, so I moved out of Marion in 2015 and moved to Des Moines actually from like 2015 to 22, and then I ended up divorcing my wife and moving back here. So we were out in Dubuque. And Dubuque it's a, really a lot of talented musicians out there down by the river, and but I think it's been more, I don't know. I like the Des Moines scene a lot better. Everybody's been a lot more like supportive out here, I should say. It was really competitive out there in Dubuque, a smaller town. So like Luke from Dead Don't Die, he's helping me get some gigs and stuff. And yeah.
Yeah, Luke's awesome. I would have
Yeah,
never
he's
thought, because
great dude.
I know Dead Don't Die, but there's a few other bands out there. Now, I would have never thought the punk scene was rising in Iowa. How's the music scene in your area looking like?
Yeah, it's good. It is, it's a little challenging being feel like a lot of places hire bands, so being a solo act, it can definitely be challenging getting gigs, but yeah, that's why I use the loop pedal and try to make as big of a sound as I can by myself. So 'cause that's about half. I usually play like 3-hour sets, and a good half of it is just instrumental. I loop my acoustic guitar for the rhythm, and then just do my best to shred on my electric over top of it. So
So you're doing a 3-hour set. That's a long time. Now you breaking it up in between, like intermission, and you come back, or you just playing
I'll take like, I'll play an hour and a half and then take maybe like just a 10-minute break and then finish it out. So I love playing, man. So it's real. It always flies by. Like I had one last night at a place called Sam's Place out in Ames that I play at quite a bit, and yeah, it's a really really fun bar. So lots of good feedback. So sounds like they're gonna have me back next month. So
That's excellent news. And
yeah,
now,
yeah.
knowing friends that I've had that have been musicians, they've like yourself. Now you started off with one guitar. Down the road, just like any hobby or occupation, you start acquiring more and more instruments.
Oh yeah.
So first, do you still have your original guitar?
It's at my dad's place. Yeah, yeah. He held on to it. Yeah, the amp, no, it crapped out. It was, it's a piece of junk, but yeah.
That's okay though. That's how everything
Yeah,
starts. So what have you been collecting lately? Because I know it doesn't just stop with one guitar.
yeah. So right now, I do just have my two right now. I have my electric acoustic Epiphone, and then my electric custom pro Les Paul Epiphone. So, but I'm always looking. I'm always window shopping. So eventually, it would be cool. I've always liked Taylors. I'd like to save up and get a Taylor acoustic, and then I do dabble with some ukulele too, and I do have a electric piano that I'm trying to learn the keys as well.
So you have everything you need to maybe record an album. It seems like you pretty much have every instrument
Sure,
ready to
except
go.
for drums, man. I can't do the skins, man. I've tried. That's a tough instrument. I respect the hell out of those guys that can play drums.
Oh no, amazing talent. I've seen some of the greatest drum solos I ever heard in my life at shows, and I love drum solos. I think people at one point were making fun of them. I think they're awesome. I love to hear them.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I know. I think Godsmack actually they always do a good drum solo in their shows. Yeah.
And now that I know, actually, 2025 is already coming to an end. I know you have some shows coming up, and so I think you mentioned one earlier. Where are you going to be the rest of the year?
So right now it sounds like one more at Sam's place. Well, I'm playing at a coffee shop called Plain Talk Books and Coffee next Saturday. A gal that she's really got a beautiful voice, plays the banjo, named Heidi West. She's gonna open up, and then I'll play the last hour. So that should be cool. And then, like I said, that's Sam's place out in Ames, and then I have. For next year, I got a couple in March and then one in June. So I'm playing at Taft Brewery out in Clear Lake on March 14th, and then Poor Decisions out in Manning, Iowa on March 28th, and then I think it was June 5th for the Talk Shop Lounge. Yeah, so it's a good feeling to already have some lined up for next year for sure.
Are you eventually down the road, and I know you will, going to expand outside of Iowa? I don't know the geography of Iowa, but I'm sure it's surrounded by other states.
Yeah,
Is there
I
one
would
that you're
travel.
looking to?
I'd probably venture out to Nebraska, and yeah. Like, I think it depends on what they're gonna cut me if it's worth driving. As far as I like to keep it about 2 hours. So right now my rate's about 100 an hour, so that's definitely doable. So like I said, I usually do a 3 to 4 hour set. So
That definitely helps with the expenses because it's kind of like podcasting. You
yeah.
can get expensive. Upkeeping equipment, getting new
No,
things.
yeah,
I guess
for
with you,
sure.
if your guitar needs to be repaired, you need to be new strings or a new
Oh
amp.
yeah, constantly
Everything
new
adds up.
strings. Yeah, for sure. I buy some pretty quality strings. So, me and Luke actually, we had a show at Lefty's out here in Des Moines, and first song I was playing broke a string. I was like, man. I was like, yeah, I guess I'm singing the rest of the night. So I started off just an instrumental, and it's like, well, I guess I'm singing the rest of the night.
I'd have just played it off and like it was on purpose.
Yeah, right.
Like they just start taking that. Well, no, guitars are expensive. Just start bashing them around like a good metal show back in the old
Oh,
days. But no, that's
right. Good
so
old
no,
Pete Townsend on
yes, that's right.
it.
You read my mind. Now your story reminds me of something. Now being self-taught. Now, if there's somebody out there that's thinking about learning to pick up an instrument, let's say learn to all their life they want to learn how to play a guitar,
Mhm.
but they have no experience and they have no, I'm gonna say no talent. Kind of like I'm explaining who I am. I have no talent in any kind of musical direction, one way or another. What's your best advice for that person if they're thinking about picking up a guitar for the first time?
I'd say just keep at it, because I think anybody can learn it. You just gotta have a lot of patience for sure, and I'd say don't give up, man. And yeah, I would say start with learning chords. I wish I would have went that route.
And if you could pick a good guitar as a first starter guitar, what would that be?
I would say I've been really happy with my Epiphone. That's like, everybody wants a Gibson, but I don't know. I think they're great guitars. And I'm more of a Les Paul guy for sure. I
Yeah.
guess it depends on if you're trying to do like a singer-songwriter thing, then I would go with, an acoustic, but if you just want to learn how to shred, I think Epiphones are great guitars.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to learn how to shred when they first start. No, I think
Yeah,
I would too.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a great plan for 2025. 2026 is coming up. Now, for our friends, the listeners of Bonus Overdrive Wednesday, they want to learn more about you, where you're going to be, and how to contact you. How can they do this?
Yep, it's Cameron McCallister Music, just across all the different, social medias. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
'cause I was-
mostly prominent on Facebook. It's the easiest to make events on, but I need to get better at posting on TikTok and all that stuff too. But yeah,
I get it, man. I'm not on TikTok, but I got all the other socials, and sometimes I get a little behind on
Yeah.
putting these things up. Now, but some of your performances can be seen there. You're also on YouTube, right?
Yeah, which that's another one that I need to be better at. But yeah. So good. Thanks for the reminder.
No problem, man. I'll keep reminding you until I see some stuff that's new up there.
Yeah.
But
So
I
right
really,
now, I think I only have like 10 videos on YouTube. But yeah, definitely need to crack down on that.
well, that's a good introduction to your works and how people can find out more about you and listen to your performance. And I really appreciate you being on Bonus Overdrive Wednesday. And I think now I see really good things coming for you in 2026. I'd like for you to come back next year on the
Yeah,
show and see how things have
absolutely.
changed and progressed and see where you're at, my friend.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Thank you, my friend. Hey, before we go, I'd like to thank our guest for hanging out with us on Bonus Overdrive Wednesday. Now we get to one of my favorite parts of the show. This is Rinse and Repeat by Cameron McCallister. Right now.
Wake up every morning to my cell phone scroll. Wipe the crust away from my eyes. Rushing out the door. Don't forget your lunch. I always pack the same thing, so there's no surprise. Driving down the road, speed limit's 45. I feel the air flow, yeah, watch the sunrise. Enjoy those last few minutes of being free before I clock in. Yeah, check out, rinse and repeat. Said I clock in, yeah, check out, rinse and repeat. Hey! Follow the instructions, never asking questions. Though my back is hurting, just a few more hours to go. It ain't no big deal though, I just go with the flow. You know I clock in, yeah, check out, rinse and repeat. Said I clock in, yeah, check out, rinse and repeat. Hey! till my cell phone's crow. Wipe the crust away from my eyes. Rushing out the door. Don't forget your lunch. I always pack the same thing, so there's no surprise.
All content on this broadcast is a property of Diego the Podcaster and is served directly from our servers with no modification, redirects, or rehosting. All celebrity impersonators are paid performers. The impersonated celebrities do not endorse or promote any views or opinions expressed by our guests, Diego the Podcaster or Bonus Overdrive Wednesday. The information shared on Bonus Overdrive Wednesday is provided on an as-is basis, with no guarantees of completeness, accuracy, usefulness, or timeliness.